Hey, what's up, guys? I'm going to be doing a little VOD review on Leno, Symmetrical, and Epikwhale. So if you look at their match history, they just dominated, to say the least. Just absolutely dominated. The only match that they didn't get top 4, it was actually only a 4-minute game where they actually got 3 points in, too. So that, again, they ended up getting good use out of it because they didn't even run out of the games just because of all their other games. They got top 4 mid end game. And, yeah, so what we're going to be doing is sort of looking into the end game and sort of seeing how they consistently get such great placement, including 4 wins. And so how we can implement that to hopefully our own play style and see how we can improve. Alrighty, so hopping into the first end game, they do currently have high ground, and sort of half and half out is off and on a hill. So we're gonna go and take a look at everyone's inventory. So they have 5 impulses, an RPG. Those are the sort of the crucial things. They also got 10 nades and a heavy sniper, which could easily get them a kill eventually. We'll spectate Epikwhale for this one since he does have the RPG, so we can see how he uses that to his advantages. So let's see what they're going to be doing here. I didn't see any launches, but it's probably just another glitch. They do indeed have a launch. They short pad this off a hill. Whenever you do a launch pad this game, especially at their elevation, you always want to short pad this zone. Actually, I think the Rich Homie himself's in this game too, if I am correct. So they're building with metal right when they land. You always want to be building with hard mats. It's simple facts that everyone else does. They just build with these hard mats. He does have a med kit, which he's going to be able to get off. He's probably going to drop a big pot over to Leno, and everyone's just going to be pretty healthy for this next zone. So fun thing to note is actually if you look at the map, there is a huge cluster when it comes to all the teams being on where the zone couldn't move over to the left, and no one really set up on the very top here. Everyone was sort of down at the bottom because they probably not everyone had a launch pad that went high enough or anything. So positional wise, if you could have the chance, probably setting up on this hill would be really good since you would be almost at max height and you would have a good view on all the other teams, especially if zone continues to go west of the map. So it's just sort of a very cluster, hectic endgame with 42 people alive. So let's see how this is going to pan out. So they do have 9 rockets, so they probably want to start doing some combos. They're looking towards a drop spawn because usually someone tries to open up a drop, correct, right? And then you can get a RPG heavy snipe into it while they're trying to open up the crate. So they're sort of just probing. If you look at zone, it actually goes down in between the 2 mountains on the left and right. So it shouldn't be too bad of a rotate. Beautiful RPG action right there. Instead of shooting the usual front wall, it's actually really important that you go for side walls with an RPG. So the box sort of looked like this. Gosh, I don't know how to do 3-dimensional. So basically, this was the side wall. They wanted to shoot this wall because usually in the front wall, there's a stair action. And so Epikwhale shot where it would be above the stair and where people would be at. So he shot right here. And that's also where the heavy snipe shot the left wall instead of the right. Because usually there would be a stair protecting the front wall. And he sort of got the angle. Instead of shooting it below the stair, he made sure he shot it above. Ended up hitting 3 players there. Which is just a max use on that rocket. Ends up getting 3 kills. Beautiful nades by Leno. Right after they get the damage, they support it by throwing 10 nades. While Symmetrical and Epikwhale continue to spray with their ARs instead of focusing on reloading their things. And now they just focus to reload everything. So this is a huge thing. This is what usually my group does too. We like to split impulses. So right there, Epikwhale used the med kit, so he had an open slot, so he could carry the 5 impulses that Symmetrical had. Another thing, that Leno probably just used all his nades there too, so now he has an open slot for an impulses. So those 5 impulses is going to make sure that every single one person has an impulse. So they're probably going to be doing a team impulse right here, and then they're going to be using a single impulse on one of the players to regroup and probably start looking for high, and then use their mats in the situation. As you can see, their mats are very, very good right now. So that's one thing that I see people not take advantage of is sort of splitting the impulses and making sure not all one person has all the mobility. Meaning, if let's say Symmetrical had all the 5 impulses, it would have been in a bad place. Since what if Symmetrical, accidentally impulses into someone's box and dies, right? So it's really smart that they separate all their mobility to lower the amount of probability of the person holding the mobility getting killed. So Symmetrical has 2 impulses, so he uses one for himself, and then Epikwhale and Leno use one together. So now everyone has one. They're going to be going for a regroup right here, since Epikwhale was in the back the furthest. He sort of was looking for Symmetrical, and then he regrouped with that. So this is just really, like, look at how little mats Epikwhale is using on this tar pin. He has not gotten shot once. Sort of want to wonder what Symmetrical is doing there. Maybe he has one more impulse, so he could sort of stay behind. This is a beautiful play by Epikwhale. Made sure he got the cone, and all he needed was get the floor. So zone does actually go up onto the hill a tiny bit. It looks like it's sort of hard to see with how many players there's left. They end up getting a kill here, just holding people in the zone. This is beautiful. They focus on rotating first in the zone, and now they can just hold. So zone actually goes back onto that loot, so they could eventually replenish on mats. And look, as you can see, Leno did a great job regrouping with Symmetrical and Epikwhale. They get an angle, close it up instantly, so they don't allow a trade. Someone fell into the box, easy kill. End up misplaying, probably trying to go for an edit and then trap, but that ended up being not his wall. Leno, again, is not focusing on getting kills. He's focusing on bringing his teammates to the right direction, which is to the next zone, to sort of secure that placement and lessen the probability of them getting caught off on the edge zone, being held. So they're actually recycling a already built tarp, which is going to be saving the mats a lot. As you can see, Epikwhale does have exactly 0 mats right now. Let's see, he's going to be able to do here. Ooh, ends up getting 1 kill, sneaking out. Needs to get back in there, get some of those mats, get that game in for that 15 HP. I don't know if, yeah, he actually didn't even get the kill, so he didn't get that 15 raw HP. But he does have some bandies here, allowing his teammates to expand. We're going to switch over to Leno. Leno is popping off with 3 kills so far. So Leno does have 2 shotguns right now, which might give him shotgun delay, so you got to be careful of that. It's actually kind of interesting that he has a green infantry rifle. Don't know if he had a choice to pick up a different rifle, or if maybe he's just into infantries, as infantries does reward really good aim, and that's something that Leno does have. So now they want to go for a low play since they don't have any mats. So as a team, they sort of drop down and sort of look for a kill to get those mats. Hopefully, they are very fortunate with zone, and it does go towards the direction that's not up the hill, so they don't gotta worry about building up. So now they can just play max low as a team together. Symmetrical getting taken out. Epikwhale really, really low. Leno's gonna have to really pull a clutch for his boys. They want to win this one. They end up picking up some dead loot that came from in zone. Hopefully he picks up those chug splashes again, carrying 2 shotguns right here. He needs to drop one of those. Don't really know if he's carrying the 2 shotguns for maybe 2 different scenarios. That's definitely a probability. Maybe he wants to pump for the first shot, and then if he wants to commit to a fight, he might just bring out the tack. So this is something that we should be looking at. Epikwhale goes for an RPG, trying to force someone down. Leno not being able to get up the hill. Unfortunately, getting taken out at 4th place right there. So they did end up getting the 3. They ended up getting, how much is that? 9 placement points for top 12, top 6, and top 4 with a couple of kills to go along with it. So I was really well played from the scenario that they had. They didn't have too much mobility. They did have an RPG that they probably could have used a tiny bit more. But then again, they were low on mats when they came down to that last rotate, just because of how the zone went up and down a lot. So what I could really say is that they probably just needed an earlier pick when it comes to the kill. Maybe that kill on Extinct would have gave them a lot of mats to hopefully that probably would have helped them out when they came to like their end game a little bit when it came to the mat count. But then again, they played it really well. They fragged out, so it almost made up for their lack of getting the last 2 placement points, which was 2nd and 1st. So we're going to hop into the next game and sort of see how they play that one. So to really recap with this game, they sort of just stayed mid-ground. They didn't really go for height. They sort of just, you know, fragged out at the mid ground, which is actually sort of a unique play style. Because if you play mid ground, one thing that's going to be confirmed is that you're going to be getting more placement, right? So if you end up going for a height, there is a gamble in it. You might not actually get height. You might get psychoed by a team with impulses, and so you might not get that top 4 placement. You might end up dying like 7th or 8th place because you were going for that height. But usually when you have height, as you can see right there, the team who did have height did win. But it's sort of, do you want to gamble that for that one win, or do you just want to play consistency and try to get that top 4 placements, which will qualify you top 8 in the week if you do consistently get top 4 placements. So yeah, we're going to hop into the next one, boys. All right, so hopping into another pretty stacked game. Symmetrical does have a launch pad. And they do have another RPG, and they do have a minigun. So the minigun RPG combo is really, really strong, especially with this meta. I definitely recommend holding a minigun. So this is actually going to be a pretty interesting game. This is in Pandora, which I think is removed today, so we won't really get too much out of it if they did something special in Pandora. But what you do need to recognize is that everyone's going to have shield, right? So if you end up beaming someone for 90 shield, it's going to mean absolutely nothing, just because in 30 seconds they're going to be back at max shield. So what a lot of people would do in a mistake is they would, you know, tag someone a ton for shield and think that it's worth the push, but in reality, they're going to get the shield back, and it's probably not even worth the push, since probably their whole team's almost close to 200. So we'll watch Leno in this game. He does have the minigun, so I want to see how he sort of uses that. Leno did pop off last game. So they do end up using the launch pad here. Again, another short pad. Short pad doesn't get him too far in his zone, but you want to know what it does get him? It doesn't get him tagged. They barely got hit by people in air. Again, this is sort of a scented play right here. Scented and Rex. They sort of do it a little bit more calmly compared to Epikwhale and Leno. As I do think moving back is the right thing in this situation. But sort of Leno actually gets taken out there. Let's see if he's going to be able to get the res. Wow, they can't get the res on Leno here. So this is going to be a rough game. But then again, Symmetrical and Epikwhale are, I'm pretty sure, duo partners now. So let's see how they are going to pop off in this scenario. So let's hop onto the Symmetrical. Symmetrical is a beast in itself. But like I was saying before, if you ever see like Rex or Edgy or Scented get sprayed, they just sort of just hold it. They don't panic. Balo is making an amazing point when I was watching out his VOD review. Again, I'm going to have Balo's link down below if you guys do want to look at another person that does amazing VOD reviews. Balo is definitely one of the best people. So Symmetrical end up going to be taking height here, looks like. So they land on old builds, which gives them some natural height already, and it's also already built, so no one can really shoot down those old builds. So again, Symmetrical and Epikwhale playing very close to each other. There is actually Scented in this game, so let's see if they are going to be contested by Scented. Symmetrical sort of playing on his trap, so if someone does end up landing on him, they will probably get trapped. Epikwhale going for an early expand. Again, this is a new strategy, sort of. Oh my gosh, Symmetrical is playing really, really well right now. There's a lot of small details I want to talk about. To start off, Epikwhale is doing a great tarp. Epikwhale is only tarping out with one floor, since there's already builds below him, right? And what's really common nowadays is that people just impulse. It doesn't matter if you have a cone and floor below you, the impulse is going to break through both. So right now, Epikwhale is just tarping with a regular floor, and Symmetrical is doing the same. Symmetrical was sort of communicating to Epikwhale that he needs to get up one, just because he didn't want to be too low, since then again they don't have Leno in this game. So Symmetrical also, whenever he wants to go for shots, he makes sure that he cones the floor that he's on, so he can sort of have that protection just in case someone does want to try to spray out his floor. Someone does want a heavy snipe where he's standing at. So hopefully that's something that he's doing on purpose, that he's sort of coning the floors on where he's at. So he, one, saves mats, and two, he gets like the most use out of the stuff that he's doing. Again, look at how well they're saving builds, because they, again, only have 2 players right now. Symmetrical's builds are pretty good. They're playing really high. They need to play high in this situation, as they're going to be missing out on kills, but they are going to be saving mats and probably not going to get contested as much because of how high they are. So Epikwhale is going for a little play. little reconnect. I think Symmetrical is calling out that it goes back up on the hill, so Epikwhale needs to get back up. They should be just ramping up here. Beautiful play by Epikwhale. You always, whenever it goes up a hill, you want to make sure that you're high enough, man. A lot of people are going to be launch padding, impulsing up the hill, so you want to make sure that you don't get sort of held by someone doing that. So beautiful shots by Symmetrical there, getting that 50 HP and the Elam point. Again, just communicating. Epikwhale is just sort of beaming with Symmetrical right now. A lot of people are going to die in the zone. Sort of looking for some holds. So right now they're playing on 2 different layers, which I don't think is bad at all. It goes off a hill, so they're going to eventually have to drop, I'm pretty sure. Unless if it goes onto hotel, they can probably play onto hotel. But right now they're just pressuring teams below them, trying to make them to drop so they can end up dropping with them, which is just a really good play. They're really playing this really well as a duo right now. So Symmetrical sort of getting low on builds. Epikwhale ends up getting a kill there. They're around the same builds right now. I don't think they're going to really struggle with their mat count right now. They can't connect with hotel, sort of going past it. So let's see where zone follows right now. This is going to be huge if it's still stretching or if it goes back on the old builds. Zap traps being deployed. Again, Epikwhale is also a small thing. He doesn't use all his rockets, right? He saves that one rocket. That one rocket can mean anything when it comes to an endgame 1v1 or anything. Let's say someone impulses and takes high, right? He can end up using that rocket to shoot down that person, and they're probably going to die from fall damage from the height that they're at right now. So instead of using all your rockets, he saves that one rocket just to sort of make that one, have that one sort of +4 card when it comes to Fortnite. So someone does try to impulse. Doesn't break through the builds. I think that was one of the last people, so they're like, might as well just use it there. Edgy going for height, Edgy getting taken out. So again, they weren't able to frag out as much in this game because they didn't have Leno alive, since they sort of got like minigunned and targeted by a bunch of people. But they did get the win, so they didn't make the game useless, right? They were, by the time Leno died, it was half and half out, so that's probably like 18 minutes of a game. So they, in their mind, they're like, we're not going to frag out, so we might as well just sort of play for the win. And they ended up getting a 19-point game off of just playing for the win, which is a huge play, especially in these stacked lobbies with the other competitors like Scented, Edgy, and Rex in the game too. So that's just a great play by Symmetrical and Epikwhale. They didn't really give anyone an option to sort of take height on them by how high they played and how together they were playing. So this is a great play. We're going to hop into the next game. Again, these are just really consistent games. They ended up taking height there, I think, because they saw the opportunity. It was almost too free to not take it because they saw the pre-built structures already there. And they're like, oh, if we just land there, we get height. And they needed to make a gamble, and that was the gamble, and it did pay off. So let's see what they do in the next game. Hopefully with all 3 of them alive to sort of see how they play as a team. Alrighty, so hopping into the 3rd game. Wow, look at that. Another low launch. Another really good launch, making sure that they're not too much high in the air. And, wow, this is a very beautiful 1x1 build by Leno there. Something really, really easy to do, but sometimes people just slack. How he built that 1x1, he allowed an entry for Symmetrical to be able to land into him, to his little base. Sort of getting a little louder here. Let's see if I can turn that down. Just 1 second. Turn it down a little bit. Bam. There we go. Hopefully that minigun's not going to be ringing in our ear. So it looks like Leno is usually the guy who miniguns. So they do have set roles, so they can end up perfecting the task. Symmetrical, great aim. He usually has a heavy sniper. He's the type of guy that's going to heavy snipe in your box and kill you even if you have 3 traps out. So let's see this rotation. So they have 1 impulse again. That's really all they have. It looks like they have a launch pad by the looks of it. Oh, now they definitely do have a launch pad after that kill. That's what I'm talking about. Really good heavy sniper spray. That's what a lot of people fail to do, is you do not need 2 heavy snipers to make a play with a heavy sniper, right? In trios, all you need is 2 other people with an AR and just good communication to spray out a wall, to heavy snipe the wall, and then right after he heavy snipes, you guys are just going to have your crosshairs on him, especially if that guy was lined up in wood or brick. You can easily see where the player model's at, so you can see where to line your crosshair at, and that's just great communication. They needed to make a play. Even if they didn't kill that guy, they would have forced out probably the launch pad by that guy was trying to run away or something like that. So just sort of probing around and making other people use their utility so they don't got to use the utility themselves. Just great gameplay, honestly. So this is a great call by Symetrical. He probably called it out with the heavy sniper. Or it was probably Epikwhale. Everyone's really smart. So they do a high launch here. I'm pretty sure they got 2 launches there. They end up taking height super early here, which is pretty interesting. This is something that actually Wavy Jacob, Thomas, and Kai Tanks do. Beautiful track in there. Great aim. Does have a slurp running. He's also going to get that 50 HP, so he's actually pretty healthy. Scented actually trying to contest for height. Epikwhale, instead of branching over and maybe getting shot down by a minigun and an RPG, he impulses over to sort of confirm that height and that dominance. So they end up taking height, first moving, which is pretty interesting. So he's going to be trying to pressure the teams below him on edge zone. So Epikwhale seems to be the guy that usually rotates out early and then looks for shots from behind, while Leno and Symetrical sort of just look around and look for kills here. So let's see who pops off a lot. Looks like Symetrical gets a lot of kills here. Epikwhale's going down pretty aggressive with the attack. So, I mean, they just have so many mats. They have so much pressure items. They have so much ammo. They're just going to keep shooting down. As I speak of ammo, Symetrical drops Leno some small bullets for his minigun. So right now they're sort of expanding early. They're trying to target people. So actually, this is beautiful targeting by Symetrical. So when you target someone, you want to be able to shoot out their wall. And you also want to be able to shoot out their roof, because that means that they're going to have to switch between the roof and the wall. And you can probably sneak bullets in. Instead of just spraying at a wall, someone can just turbo build the wall, probably place a cone on there too. So it's going to be hard to get through 2 layers. But if you get at an angle right here and you can shoot out the wall and the roof at the same time, you usually get a lot of bullets through and usually end up getting kills, especially if there's more than one person shooting at it. So this is great play and angling by Symetrical and Epikwhale here. So they do have Edgy, Scented, and Rex here. So they probably should have low launched this here. I think that was sort of a panic launch. When it came to Scented and them, they were getting stunk, so they were probably just trying to get out of that area. But low launching there probably would have helped them out a little bit. Don't know who's throwing these stinks, but they're being mighty annoying. But then again, if you look at how high Epikwhale, Symetrical, and them stay, they stay at a good distance when it comes to the layers below them. This is the horrible replay system. But look at how high they stay. They have Leno staying at the very height right now, which sort of allows him not to get impulsed on, and that the only people that would really get affected by an impulse right now are Epikwhale and Symetrical. Like, they're really high. But at the same time, if Leno ends up getting shot down, he's just going to be able to connect with Epikwhale and Symetrical and not take any fall damage from this distance. So what is this? This is 1, 2, 3. He's actually 3 layers above that layer. And then right here, there are 1, 2, 3, I think. Yeah, I think they're almost 3 layers below there. So let's see how they're probably going to drop down any second here and start fragging out. Actually, the zone goes back onto the hill, which this type of height actually isn't too high because of the how it's going to go onto the hill. So maybe that's just really good awareness. They know that has a high chance of probably going back onto one of these hills, so they might as well just stay high instead of wasting mats by dropping down. So yeah, we're going to go back to gameplay and sort of resume and see how they play this out. So again, yes, this is a great elevation change by Symetrical. He does realize someone made a call to go up, as people look like they could contest. It's very safe. Seems like they always place a trap under them, especially when they have a lot of traps to dispose at this high gun, since you're not really going to be going for too many trap plays when you're this high. So right now they're all staying on the same layer. going for AR sprays. A lot of people coming up into the zone are probably going to be low on raw HP just because they has to go up a couple layers. Ooh, almost misses out on a kill there, but he ends up getting it. Punished. This look how dominant they are right now. They're just super high. They're actually getting ramped up on by who was that? Pretty sure that was his own teammate. Maybe it wasn't. I mean, everyone's still alive right now. Sort of fragging out. They're actually Symmetrical has 0 mats to see. It doesn't really matter in the mat situation. Symmetrical is just going psycho mode right now. Someone ends up impulsing for high. Oh, it wasn't his teammate that went for high there, so that's why he went for that impulse. Okay. Makes a lot of sense now. So it's actually a 3v3 here, and they just completely dominate Epic, the Arkham's team. So that's pretty interesting. This is a huge game. If you guys did not notice the kills that they had 17 kills, man. 17 kills. That definitely makes up for the lack of kills in their last game. And that's 2 wins in a row with a 4th place before that. Consistency. And they're just going to keep the ball rolling. Alrighty. So this is technically the 5th game. The 4th game, they ended up dying sort of off spawn. They ended up getting 3 kills with it, though. So they definitely got the use out at the time there. So they do not have zone. This is a little bit earlier. So I want to see how they rotate it to this half in, half out. They do have 1 launch on Symmetrical. But that's really all of this game. They don't have too many impulses, so it's kind of interesting to see how they've been taking height. They've been the games that they've been winning, they've been taking height at first moving zone right after half and half out. So let's see if they do continue this, and see if that's like the way of really dominating and winning these games is just taking height that early. They sort of stay up high, make sure that no one can really contest, and then when it comes down to the almost the very last circles, they allow their sort of to drop down and just frag out. So they're doing a really nice dry rotate here. They do not have too many mats, as it is another Paradise Zone, which is sort of across of their drop spot. So they weren't able to just sit around and just farm up all the time. They started got worried about rotating. This is a pretty good rotation, I gotta say. Especially since they only do have 1 launch pad right now. They cannot expend that this early in the game. So they're just going to be playing on the edge and just sort of rotating farming builds. I was about to say. Alright, so they might take height here if they want to take flight. Hashtag flight class, boys. Fly win. But let's see. So they do have 3 sinks, so I'm guessing Epikwhale is going to be looking for a kill right here to hopefully get some mobility if they don't have zone towards them, or force out some mobility from someone else. Really good play there. They played on a drop. No one else was contesting it, so they're like, hey, we need some more mobility. Why not? Let's get a drop that has a launch pad in it. So let's see. They actually do not pick the suppressed AR over the blue AR. Wow, that's interesting, boys. That is interesting. Alrighty, so let's see if they're going to be doing another low launch. So they usually low launch this zone because they usually set themselves up sort of like mid to high ground at half in, half out. Honestly, I would probably do a high launch here, but I just want to sort of see what they would do. They are below on storm damage, it looks like, for some reason. Symmetrical, not hitting all the shots possible right there, but they'll probably make it up for it. Alright, so let's see what they do here. They do another low launch. I thought zone was actually going in the wrong direction, so this is probably the right play. Again, they don't get damaged too much. Ooh, Epikwhale actually ends up going down in this box fight. Don't know why they forced the fight there. I sort of want to see it from Epikwhale's point of view instead of Symmetrical's, to sort of see the mindset of that push. Maybe he beamed someone in air and they wanted to land on him. So he's sort of trying to force out mobility here with his stinks, which is like what I was saying earlier. He's probably trying to not have to use his own launch pad and make other people use their launch pad. So low launching is definitely the wave when it comes to this new meta, because everyone has usually really good aim now, so they want to. So maybe they saw a solo here. He regrouped with his teammates. They end up getting a kill. I mean, that's not a bad trade. Usually you don't want to go down. They're getting minigun. They probably get Epikwhale res, to be honest. And they end up getting 2 kills here. They should be focusing on the res a little bit sooner. I guess they just wanted to get the game in so that other team couldn't communicate. So let's see what they do. Let's see if they don't panic or whatnot. Symetrical is going for instantly chug splashes to help heal Epikwhale up on his raw HP. So it looks like they won't go for an impulse, and he impulses into the box, ends up getting a kill here. He's going to have to just dry rotate. Does get a lot of HP. Ooh, he's trying to build around. Just trying to see what's happening right now. There's a lot happening here. Looks like Leno gets taken down on this rotate too. Let's see if Epikwhale and Symetrical are going to have to regroup or whatnot here. Epikwhale is just sort of staying alive somehow, some way. Oh, they actually are regrouped with each other. Maybe didn't even need to use that chug splash with Symetrical since he's already high on HP. He does have one more stink here. Throwing stink at the edge of zone is always the best play because those are the people that have to play edge zone because one, they most likely are low on health and mats, and also probably coming out of the zone. Just absolutely insane kills by Epikwhale right here. He's just put on the clinic when it comes to hitting the shots. They ended up doing a team impulse. Don't know if Epikwhale is really ready for that. So maybe it might be a misplay, but Epikwhale is just making the best out of the situation. Doesn't have any mats actually, so he's just gonna have to frag out. We're gonna switch over to Symetrical. Symetrical, only 25 HP here. Does have one more chug splash that he did use, but it is going up a hill, so a lot of people are probably gonna die on this rotate. He's just trying to play this placement. He can't really pop off. Only has 10 more builds. Just sort of just waiting for people to die off by the zone. Ends up going for an impulse. Ooh, gets sent into the zone. Here, he does not have any more builds. No more builds. Let's see if he's going to be able to pop off here. Just playing under old structures. This is a great play. Just allowing other people to fight each other and hopefully getting that top 4 placement. Just needs one more team to fall out. Doesn't even shoot at Arkham there. Look at that. Great trigger finger. Ends up getting a flank on Gosh here. Again, going for an impulse. Hopefully trying to get in his box. There's a guy behind him. Ends up getting taken out there. But he did get that top 4 placement. So that's just great play by Symetrical there. So probably the misplay with there is that they went for a fight and they were sort of late rotating because Epikwhale got downed in that fight. So that's why it's always good to rotate early in these scenarios. But they ended up not even getting in such a bad situation as they did clutch up that with, I think they got like 11 kills and top 4 placement, which is definitely just insane still. They're just keeping it consistent. We're going to hop into the next game and sort of see how they play that end game too. Alright, so hopping into the 6th game, they end up using a pressure plant. The pressure plant as sort of like a launch pad to glide into the next zone. So we're going to speed this up a bit. I just sort of wanted to see how they set up here and just sort of get a grasp of what they have in their inventory. So it looks like they have 6 impulses. Again, Symetrical could hold the 2 extra impulses, but since Epikwhale does have an extra slot, he is holding those 2 impulses. So you can also expect Leno probably using his GL and oh, see, look at they split all the impulses super early, and now they all have 2. I think they might have used a stink or something. They had extra. So again, they make sure that the mobility is split on their teammates, and that not one person has all the mobility. The small stuff like this makes a huge difference once you actually play the game and implement it into your playstyle. So the zone's pretty close. They do have a lot of teams around them, and they have pretty good inventory. They don't really have a minigun or a rocket launcher right now, but they do have a GL, which could get them some kills. So they're actually they're gonna be doing a beautiful heavy snipe play on these guys. This is something that me, Wheels, and Barl do pretty well. We just sort of stay in a cone, and we all heavy snipe a wall, and then we just go for a shotgun shot right after that, and we usually get an elim because the person is holding an edit or just not expecting the heavy snipe. So let's see if they're going to be. I think that's what they're looking for. I don't know if they execute it here, but let's see. There you can see. Like look at how well that is. It's so hard to expect something like that, and they just completely wipe that team. Again, they're just always looking for a play to be made. They're all really good capable when it comes to getting kills and stuff like that. So they're just really allowed to abuse that, especially since they didn't even need the second kill there, but they probably saw he was a solo, went for it. So he ends up actually keeping the GL in this situation. I'll probably pick up the Stinks just because it's really hard to use a GL effectively. But actually I want to watch Leno use it here. So they end up not taking height. As you can see, Leno does not panic build and try to connect to the height. He allows himself to fall. I'm guessing Epikwhale or Symmetrical or even Leno probably called it out before where they wanted to go. They used a really good team impulse where you sort of just sit in the cone and just throw the impulse at the very bottom, and it impulses you guys sort of together, and also at a vertical distance too, which is really important, because if they went at a horizontal distance there, they would have actually ran into that big 1x1, but since they threw it at the elevation of a stair, they end up going above the 1x1. Alrighty, so they usually take height at the zone when things go right. So let's see if they continue it. Yeah, Leno's looking for some GL shots right here. I think this is probably the best position to really look for GL shots. Sort of miscommunication there. Symmetrical wanted to go for a kill. I think Epic was just like, chill. You don't want to get sniped at the zone since you won't be able to res them. Alrighty, so they go for an impulse. Let's see when they impulse. Let's see if they wait till zone's right on them or if they impulse sort of early. They impulse early. They mark. But they don't go for... I was about to say they should go for a high there. So they end up going for a height. They do have impulses to go for height. So it's half in, half out is the wave, boys. Half in, or first moving is when you want to go for height. It is definitely the play. Again, look at how elevated they're playing right now. So before the meta used to be that you would want to be up 2 layers above, but I'm pretty sure they're playing 3 layers above really anyone. Like, I think it's just really safe because they can usually catch themselves with a wall on the floor to take 0 fall damage to play 3 builds up above people. I don't know if Leno's going to be able to get too much use out of those GLs. Hopefully he gets a couple kills with those. But then again, they completely body height. They impulse for height. They use almost all their mobility, so they can end up saving mats and sort of just being able to frag out and hopefully get another Vic Roy here. So I still want to continue on watching on Leno, seeing how he's doing these GLs. Yeah, it's just really difficult to get the GLs to really do much when it comes to that. So let's see. All right, so this is just another just insane play, man. So Leno stays on high. Epikwhale and Symmetrical impulse over to the other high ground so they can keep high, and Epikwhale can also connect with Leno. So it's just insane. So Leno had the possibility. So let's say Epikwhale and Symmetrical had to build fight someone for the height that they impulsed on. Leno could have easily kept high at the same time pressuring the team that was trying to pressure Epikwhale and his teammates. So they sort of confirm height and are able to keep height by Leno just staying up there and just being a menace. And Epikwhale ends up catching them too. No one's really shooting at high right now, so this is a great play when it comes to what I usually see. You usually just want to, and when you have the extra impulses on high ground, instead of just using mass to tarp over, you sort of just want to sort of confirm that. And I think they went on to old builds or something along with that. Great rocket launcher there. Like that's just insane, man. He perfectly shoots the rocket launcher to knock down the build, actually end up getting a kill, and they're also pressuring the team right below them, a team of 3 that could contest them for high. So right now, Epikwhale is hitting like 3 points that are just so crucial to maintaining high and winning this game and getting a couple of kills. So that's just insane by Epikwhale here, and it's why he's one of the best players in the world. This perfectly hitting that rocket launcher. It's actually harder than you would imagine. And there's just so much purpose. So he just has so many RPGs, so he's just going to go for RPGs. And they're also going for GLs. Again, GLs are going to be really hard to get a kill here. So probably just try to use the GLs earlier or pick up the Stinks instead. Because you could, especially when you have an RPG too, you don't want to be carrying double rockets, in my opinion. Unless you have tons. So they're sort of going for another early rotate. And they're sort of trying to hold. They're sort of getting on an edge right here, but so many people are dying. And again, look at, they're playing pretty high, man. No one's contesting them. Impulses can't really affect them too much. They're sort of playing on edge zone too. So one huge thing when it comes to playing right now is, all right. So this is what they do. Look at Leno. Leno cannot get impulsed on. He can't get his floor broken or anything. So the only way that Leno gets shot down is by an RPG or by an AR, minigun, something along the lines of that. So Leno stays high, confirms it. Epikwhale and Symetrical just completely frag out and putting pressure onto them. And what they also do is that they play edge zone. If someone's likely to impulse, they're likely to impulse up straight right here. So if someone would impulse, like let's say like Snackbar goes for a play, he's going to be impulsing up right here. Since they're playing edge zone and no one's really under them, they can fully go for beams and not get knocked down here. So it's really good to play edge zone. As Young Calc and his trio, they sort of do like a split where they have one person stay height, and then they have one person play on the edge, and then they have another person play on the edge right there, so they can go all angles. But they do that when they have a lot of match, which is a really good play too. But this is just a similar strategy when it comes to right now. And again, Leno's using absolutely like 0 mats right here, so he's not having to worry about his mats. And they sort of just confirm height here. As you can see, every time that they've had height, they haven't really got contested at all. And that's not just because they're getting lucky, it's because they're playing height perfectly and they're allowing really no room for mistakes. I'd love to see an example of someone trying to impulse up directly, but I don't think that's going to happen this game. So again, Epikwhale is just like a lot of, like there's just a lot of things that are just really basic, but he's going for an RPG, and then right after he RPGs, he uses his AR. He's not just spamming RPGs with absolutely no purpose. He's trying to sneak an RPG into someone's box and do damage. So just small stuff like that, comboing your utility with an AR spray usually results in damage. Because even if the rocket doesn't go through the builds, he might get an AR bullet through the build right after it breaks, sort of like a heavy sniper spray, but as an RPG spray. So super small stuff like that is just really crucial when looking at great players. So now there's barely anyone left, not really any trails left too, so they're just going down to make sure that these last 2 frags. Backup tries to go for some height here, but he isn't really able to. Even if he does, Epikwhale does have that RPG. Falconer. Bobby out of mats there, just trying to pray and hope that no opponent's made a mistake there, but hard to defend against an RPG. And they're just going to win this 1v3. Probably going to pick RichHomie, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's just great plays, man. Like, they're just playing their bread and butter. They know how to play high ground, and they know how to take it too, so it's really nice just seeing such a really clean team play, and it's why they got first out of week 4 of FCS on West. So we're gonna hop into the last second to last game and see how they play that one. Alrighty, so hopping into the final game. They do not have half and half out here, so it's gonna be interesting to see how they rotate. They're sort of going for that heavy sniper spray, as I was talking about earlier in the video. They do have a naturally built launch pad behind them, so that's what they played around. They don't have too much AR bullets either to go along with this, so they sort of need these kills. Shivsy, just committing rope nick, just sort of going into the storm. Rope neck is what I meant to say. I think I said nick. Definitely no nicotine usage here. But let's see. So they're going to be doing a high launch here, which makes sense because they can't make it to that distance doing a low launch. They do not have any mobility other than 2 impulses. They do have 2. Oh my goodness. Damn, that's one cutie right there. That's what I could say. So let's see what they end up doing to the RichHomie here. If they end up doing anything. So I should have probably been playing up a layer here. We're just getting naded and stuff. So they end up shield bubbling themselves here because of the nade. Oh my gosh, they're doing wheels dirty here. Not gonna lie. So they're trying to go for a fight on him. They don't actually end up getting the kill on Wheels yet. Wheels gets taken out by someone from behind. So it is a really hectic area to be at, which is probably why we were dead there. We were sort of in a triangle of different teams. But yeah, so let's see how they're going to be able to play this, man. It's going to be really difficult. So they end up using the campfire here, just for the homie Leno. Making sure everything's theirs here. Sort of giving them some space. Epikwhale right now is looking for a kill. They need mobility is what they know. I think they have double. Do they have double snipers right now? They do not. They do not. So Symetrical. See, look, they're scouting for information. Sort of also when they do the scout for information, they also increase their knowledge around them and also give them more space when it comes to rotating. So this seems like it's the new impulse, right? So we'll watch Symetrical throw it. Don't know why it's not showing how he's looking. So they end up throwing it not at the very bottom, but pretty close to the bottom. And let's see how it takes him in air. So that's unfortunate for Symetrical. Let's see. Yeah, this is a really rough place to impulse just because there's a lot of builds in front of them, but that's really all they could have done. So let's see how they're going to regroup here. Symetrical's going to be using another impulse. So he uses that one impulse to sort of not even land on Leno. Leno needs to get to him because that's where the next zone is. So he sort of leads and allows for support for Leno. Let's see where Epikwhale's at. Ooh, look at that. Look at that team play. They end up getting some dead loot. Ooh, can maybe get a kill there. Wow. They end up taking out Jay. Epikwhale does not get too aggressive for that kill, but and just tries to pop some minis. And the impulse ends up taking him nowhere. Seems like they're really separated right now. So let's see if they're going to be able to regroup or if someone's just going to have to get a solo pop off right here. Great play by Epikwhale, sort of just getting another mini off, sort of just. Ooh, Epikwhale has 0 builds. It's going to be really hard for Epikwhale to get out of the situation. I might just go for a psycho play. Instead of going for a pump shot there and only doing 2 damage, he goes for a AR spray, which is a really good play. And then there's this Little there. Little doing little things. So Leno ended up getting taken on the rotation. Epikwhale started just putting on a clinic. He got some mats off that kill and an RPG. I was about to say this is the only game that Epikwhale doesn't have an RPG, but I was wrong. He ended up getting one anyways, and that's just like the basis of their gameplay, man. If they don't have an RPG on them, players are eventually going to kill a team that's going to have an RPG. Beautiful rotate by Symetrical here. Symetrical just doing such a great job, not being almost misses out on a shot there. Symetrical wasn't stingy on mats. Symetrical only had like he has 0 builds. He had 0 builds from himself, but that didn't stop him from dropping some mats to Epikwhale. And that's just great team play. Symetrical going for impulses again. He's gonna have to clutch it up here. 8 teams alive, so he hasn't even got the +6 yet. Used another impulse. I think that impulse was not needed as he was already in zone. Goes for a short pad. Look at that beautiful short pad action right there by Symetrical. Great plays, man. Plays edge zone here. He's just absolutely putting on a clinic right now. He ends up getting shot from below and above. Does not get hit once. Ends up expanding. Only has 8 more builds to place. He is almost at the top 4 mark. Let's see if he's going to be able to pop off and end up getting it. He's just trying to wait. He's trying to wait. Getting calmed in the ear. I can hear Leno and Epikwhale. Just one more team. One more team. One more team. You're not top 4 yet. Oh, beautiful kill by Symetrical. Oh my gosh, Symetrical is going insane right now. Pops the slurp. Got some more mats off that kill on, I think it was joystick. Look, he's just playing time. He's not going for a 50-50 right now. He's just sort of understanding that he does now got the +4, so he's probably going to go for a play now. Let's see what play that's going to be. He does have a heavy sniper. Going to be going for a W key. Snow is ready for it. Cannot hit that one. So he's just sort of looking around, gets RPG'd, and taken out. It's honestly just a great play. It's one of the cleanest VOD reviews that I've done so far. So that's an insane play, and congrats to them getting first. And they already qualified. I think this might be their 3rd week qualifying, or 2nd week for sure. So this is a great play by Symetrical, Epikwhale, and Leno, all picked up by organizations. Really good picks, and that's a great shot by KSU, by the way. That was a great RPG. But yeah, hope you guys did enjoy the VOD review. And if you guys do want to see more of these, just let me know. Let's see who's actually gonna win this. Beautiful play by Kaiser. Yeah, I enjoy making these. I also learn a lot, so hopefully you guys learn the same. If there's anything that you sort of want to learn more about, just let me know in the comments down below. If you guys are not already followed or subscribed to my YouTube, make sure to drop a sub. I stream on Twitch. Make sure to follow me there. Also, Twitter, Instagram, it's all going to be down below. Also, if you guys want to support me, my creator code is this Quinn, Quinn. Put that in the item shop. Helps me out a bunch too. So yeah, I just appreciate you guys making it this far, and hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and that you can hopefully implement this into the last Trios week or into the future Trio Cups and stuff like that, and hopefully get some money or maybe even qualify. But yeah, peace out, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you for watching. Make sure to drop a like, and bye-bye.